You know what's genuinely a hoot and a holler? The challenge is now considered the fifth sport by, I don't know, America, but maybe also the world. It's global now, hence World Challenge. And it started not like a sport at all.
This is the true story of 5 ex-real worlders picked for the ride of their lives.
I'm Lauren Blair Donovan, and I'm a lifelong challenge fan. And by lifelong, I mean we don't do math on this channel. But yes, for most of my life, I've been a challenge fan, and I think it'd be super interesting to do a deep dive into the early days of the challenge, so here we go. Okay, let me reintroduce myself for a minute. I'm gonna try to make this brief, but depending on how you know me, this may be a hard left turn, but basically, I'm a comedian, I'm a writer, I'm a puppeteer, I'm an actress, and I'm sort of a former personality of sorts. On this channel, I've done some comedy, but also a lot of darker things through a comedic lens, like talking about grief or going to cemeteries. The grief show isn't coming back, that's been repurposed to my blog. The cemetery show is ending, but more dark humor is coming your way, and frankly, the cemetery show is far from over yet. I keep getting cool opportunities to go back to cemeteries, so there's not an episode of that coming out this week, but they're coming real soon, I promise. But I have a lot of social media, including but not limited to, for a long time, I had a TikTok that was dedicated to the challenge. I started it because of All-Stars, the challenge All-Stars. Like I said, I'm a lifelong challenge fan, and I seriously don't think anything made me happier in the pandemic than knowing that this was coming, this OG show. And of course, Real World Homecoming was coming out around the same time, so I started a TikTok to be a comedic personality and react and all that jazz. And it went actually pretty well. It has like a modest, but still nonetheless a following. But in the midst of all this, I got diagnosed with complex PTSD, and I've been on something of a healing journey. And I don't know, I kind of had to figure out if my whole personality is a trauma response, and I've had to let a lot of things go. And sometimes I don't want to grab them back. And then sometimes I'm like, oh wait, no, I do appreciate that. Come back to me, let's do that. We're having one of those moments today. I, in this whole healing journey, kind of thought maybe being a personality was not for me, and that's something I'm still kind of playing around with. I think for the darker stuff, like talking about grief and loss, maybe that's better through writing, because I think with YouTube and TikTok and all the things, you got to be like super on and have energy and da-da-da-da. And I already don't wear that well to begin with, but I can kind of fake it. But when talking about dark issues, it's like, let's talk about my dead parents. Like, it's not for me. No more. I don't want to do that anymore. But the challenge, I don't know, I'm just talking amongst friends, and I had a lot of fun doing it on TikTok. But TikTok, if you're filming in the app, only gives you 3 minutes. And if you're showing a clip and then reacting to it, there's just not a lot of time. And for the most part, I don't need a lot of time, but there are times where I do. Boy, is it not fun to, I don't know, see a terrible person from the show have a human moment and respond to it accordingly, and then have the comment section be like, but he's a monster. Don't you know what he did? And it's like, I know, I talked about it like 3 clips ago, but not everybody saw that. So I kind of, just the stress of that, and like social media hasn't really been agreeing with me in my complex PTSD journey. I thought I was maybe done. I almost called it officially, but it turns out I'm not. I actually still really do want to talk about the challenge with you guys. I also write about a lot of things in pop culture, and I think that reality TV has an oddly specific and important role in our society, whether we like it or not. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it has infiltrated like how we think and our behaviors and all the things of the things. So I remembered I have access to a Google Drive with all of the old challenge seasons, and I was like, oh wait, that's easy to download and upload into iMovie and React. So we're gonna do some long, deep cut, deep dives, all the things, and I'm actually oddly excited about this, so I hope you are too. I have no idea if it's going to do well or not, but we're going to follow the fun as long as it's fun. Let's get into it. The Challenge Season 1. Not that it was even called The Challenge, but whatever, we'll get back to that.
If they survive the missions, then I guess we'll have to give them that handsome reward. Forget your real world. This is Road Rules.
The first season of The Challenge was actually a Road Rules season, but with real world road rulers. I didn't know that. I thought it was real world versus Road Rules, and I think I'm conflating the next season with this season. I think it just all was like mashed up into like one big monster season for me. Like, let me know in the comments, does anybody have this false memory or lack of memory or just mixed up memory? I don't know what this was. But yeah, we're already off to a weird start. My memory is failing me.
They asked me to come back and do it again. I really, really would have to think hard about it this time.
How hard did Eric Nies really have to think about it? He's like talking in present tense, yet he's clearly filming the show. Something about that just kind of tickles me. Maybe that's just me. If you don't know who Eric Nies is, welcome to the club. I actually don't really know who he is either, but I do. I know his essence more than I know him, meaning I understand that he's from the first ever Real World season. I didn't watch that season. I was a little too young for that, and I just never really caught it in reruns. For reasons, I watched the Homecoming in the pandemic, but for some reason I skipped the original season, so I guess my bad on already not doing my homework, sorry. But I also know that Eric Nies went on to, I want to say, had a modeling career and was definitely like a fitness guy. I feel like he was kind of like the Denise Austin or what's his name? Richard Simmons of MTV at one point. Like he had, was it The Grind? Like I could look it up. I'm not going to, but I could. But I feel like he was involved with The Grind, which was like a workout show or like VHS tapes. You could work out with Eric Nies. Like he was like that guy in the 90s. And in the New York Homecoming, it kind of felt like he took a hard left turn into new age territory. He's on a journey, you know, as we all do, I suppose. And this is a really, really fun jumping in point. Buckle up. This is a season for Eric Nies. This is a season. All right, so go back to watching Eric Nies bopping like he's in a music video because he knows he's being filmed listening to whatever he's listening to. Limp Bizkit, probably. It's 1998. I don't know. And on this train. And we're gonna see who else we meet.
I'm going to Lake Placid, and along the way, I'm gonna be meeting some of my castmates.
Would it even be a John Brennan introduction without a cowboy hat, a guitar, and some country music playing? Okay, I know him more than Eric Nies because he did way more challenges, but similar story. I was too young for Los Angeles Real World, so I missed it like a weirdo. I also watched The Homecoming as if I know these people, but I do because there's like a bunch from the challenge, so like it was kind of interesting to sort of see them start where they started from without seeing where they started from. Okay, full disclaimer, I am somebody who should not like John. I shouldn't. We are so opposites. Like, he loves Jesus and I collect skull art and am an atheist, and I'm assuming he votes conservatively and I definitely vote liberally. I just can't hate the guy though. I cannot hate the guy. He always treats people with respect. He always seems to meet people with where they're at. He seems to have empathy. And I can't say that for all people on his team. You know, from where I'm sitting, I like my team way more because I think we do that more. But I think he actually does embody that. And he just seems like a low drama, nice dude. I actually like John a lot. I weirdly do. I've made fun of similar types on the TikTok. I'm looking at you, Matt, from New Orleans. Like, you had your moments, but I had some great fun at your expense. But yes, I'm liberal, I'm an atheist, but I like this good old Christian boy. Like, I can't help it. No real complaints, besides we just have totally different worldviews. It's like an odd parasocial odd couple, but like, I'm kind of on his side a lot of the time, and we just are not likely buddies. He doesn't know I exist, but I mean, like, yeah, I can't root against this guy. I cannot help but root for him. So full disclaimer, it doesn't make sense, but I'm just a huge fan. But let's see what John's up to in this particular moment in 1998.
Johnny! What's up, man?
Took me at the end of the camp.
I've been just playing music.
Yeah?
Trying to get going with that.
How's your deals and everything?
Nah, I'm working on some new ones.
Yeah?
Yeah. Didn't come through too well, but
Really?
I ain't giving up. My goal is to put out a record, and I haven't been able to do that yet. What are you doing now?
I'm doing a bunch of things, man. I actually just got a record deal.
That is the most Eric Nies thing I have ever heard of.
Did you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Wait a second, you don't sing.
I don't, that's the funny thing.
Dang it, you get a record deal and I don't.
He has a record contract. Even though he cannot sing, and I'm assuming play instruments, and he's just casually telling John that he has a record deal after John tells him that he, a man with actual talent, has failed to obtain a record deal. You know, entertainment, it's never fair. It's never fair. Right now, it's Nepo babies who can't act or model taking over, taking jobs from all my friends and me. And now, I guess in 1998, it was Eric Nies taking away recording contracts from potential country music stars. Like, I don't understand the world. It's not just. It's just not just. All right, let's see who's next on deck. Oh, it's Rachel, the future first Congress wife. I don't know what the name of the wife of a congressman is, but she's married to, spoiler alert, somebody coming up on this exact season, Sean Duffy. Was she a conservative Karen in 1998? Let's look.
When I started the trip, my biggest concern was my bag. I always overpack. I always have more than I need.
I mean, I'm a little girly. I kind of overpack myself. I can't make fun of her as much as I'd want, but yeah, if this was like a Magic 8 Ball, I think it'd be like, oh, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. She might be a Karen. She might.
My problem is that I have a bum leg from my accident.
Rachel was involved in a tragic car accident where some people that she was with and a close boyfriend were killed.
Oh my god, that got dark fast. Well, now I feel bad. Okay, she has every reason to be worried about packing and carrying things. Like, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. And it wasn't even laying in that hard, because I overpack too. But yeah, okay, I'm not gonna make fun of that again. I don't remember that at all. I was probably too young, and the internet wasn't the news feeding frenzy that it is nowadays, but I have no memory of that. That's genuinely sad. No further comments. That's genuinely awful.
Oh, I see a big backpack. And small girl.
Where?
Back here.
Small girl. Hi, John.
Good to see you.
How you doing?
Cynthia from Miami. She is one of my favorites. I wish Miami was released somewhere. I really want to rewatch it. I'm really bummed that there was not a Homecoming for Miami, and I don't even think Homecoming's happening anymore. I think I saw San Fran and Miami kind of in the same time period. I think they were just airing on marathons. I don't think they were airing in real time. They had already aired. But I really just big nostalgic soft spot for Miami, and I just remember always really liking Cynthia. I think she's a really cool character in reality TV history because she's so sweet. She just has such a good, charming personality that seems super sincere and interesting and authentic. But she also has moments where she's human, and I think that's so important to show people being multifaceted, and it's okay to have flaws, especially to showcase women who have flaws, especially pretty women who have flaws. And pretty women of color who have flaws. Let's humanize all of this. I'm loving it. Big Cynthia fan, and brag alert, I got to meet her because I live in Los Angeles. Because of my TikTok, I got invited to a bunch of parties that Cyrus from Boston would throw for, challenge premieres or other kind of reality TV get-togethers. I was only able to make it to one, which kind of blows my mind because I wanted to go to all of them. But Cynthia was there, and she was a doll. I'll put up a photo at the credits and stuff. I got a photo with her and Ayana from Road Rules, and it was very exciting. I had great fun. So thank you, Cyrus, for inviting me. I'm a big Cynthia fan.
I'm a travel agent now.
Yeah?
Yeah. I work.
You get good rates?
Yeah. Whatever you need, I can get it for you.
I travel a lot.
And yes, that was Eric humble bragging that he travels a lot for work. Just in case you were not clear what that was, that's what that was. So now we get to see Mr. Future Congressman himself, Sean Duffy, looking like a cowboy for some reason. I didn't know Wisconsin was full of cowboys. Maybe I don't know my cowboy history, but isn't Wisconsin basically Canada? Like, sure, but let's make him a cowboy. But I don't make the rules.
Destination is Westport Station. I bet you the other castmate has
the
like
clue.
the clue.
I bet you the next castmate is your future husband and father of your 18,000 children. This is gonna be so cute, except I don't like anything they stand for. As a hopeless romantic, I'm very conflicted about this plot line that's about to ensue.
Who's that dude?
Who is it?
I'm Sean.
Hi,
You guys.
Sean.
How's it
How you
going?
doing?
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
And John, I'm Sean.
Sean?
Yeah. You guys.
Are you our next guest?
How you doing? Eric? Yeah. All right. How's it going? I'm Sean.
Sean? Are you our fifth person?
When they didn't know who in the hell I was because they hadn't watched my show at all.
Here's a letter.
From the desk of Mr. Big, welcome to Road Rules. Glad to have you here. Before your journey begins, you need to turn over your cash and credit card to the driver. He'll give you enough cash to last 9 days. You'll get your Winnie later. For now, sit back and enjoy the ride.
Rachel's a cool girl. She was very bubbly, very spirited, and I like her right off the bat. She rubbed me the right way.
Christina Aguilera hadn't even released Genie in a Bottle yet, and he said that. He just had that waiting to go. Like, that was an expression of his. I'm just gonna make that known.
What's up, girls?
How are you?
Mind if I hang out for a while?
Sean, I'm just not sure how I feel about him. He seems nice. He flirts with me all the time.
I think it's sweet that their kids can see their parents meeting and their mom being nothing but ambivalent towards their dad in the beginning. Call me a softie if you must, you know? Like, just warms my heart. So they're given like a cassette player / transistor radio.
All right, listen up, you country twanging, hipster grinding, claw wearing, Republican delegating, log rolling, real world all-stars turn road rulers.
Some kind of technology that I think was even outdated in 1998. And guess who's doing recordings? I'm assuming a la Kevin from Home Alone on his like Talk Boy or whatever that was called. Guess who the host is? Guess who the host is? Just guess. You're not going to guess. You're not going to guess. I wouldn't have guessed. I just watched.
Who's this? This is Mr. Big of Road Rules. Don't touch that dial. There's nothing wrong with your clue.
That's Puck?
Welcome to Road Rules. Puck style.
Oh, God.
I'm with John. See, I told you we'd be friends. Like, oh God. Oh God. Oh God is right. Puck is, if you don't know what Puck is, I've only watched the first 3 episodes for this particular episode, so I don't know if he reveals himself eventually. We're going to find out together, but Puck is something else, and I don't even want to get too much into it because I don't know how relevant he's going to be this season, but he's a mess. He's a mess of a human being, and I don't think he showers, and not in the, it's not even that cool, but the cool, I'm in Hollywood, I'm a famous A-lister, don't shower kind of way. Like, no, he looks like he does. Like, Brad Pitt looks like he showers. Puck does not look like he showers. He doesn't. He really doesn't. Well, he's on future episodes of The Challenge, so we'll save my hot takes, not even hot takes, normal takes, on Puck for another time. Is John allowed, though, to take the Lord's name in vain? Just asking for a friend. I find religious rules fascinating, especially since they're always cherry-picked. But that's just, okay. I like John, I promise.
I'll call all the shots now. You got that? And I'll be checking in on you guys from time to time, so you better follow my clue if you can. And if you survive the missions, well then, you might just get that handsome reward. Guys, it's your worst nightmare. I'm not on the trip. I'm controlling it. All right, now get your candy asses in the Winnie, and let's move out.
So I'm a playful person, and I'll go and just play with people in probably a sexual way, and I think it can be perceived in the wrong way, and I think she might take my actions as me, you know, liking her and wanting to get down with her and maybe feel her little boobies.
You're having a nice time.
Thanks. So do you.
Tell me you're a future creep in Congress without telling me you're a future creep in Congress.
Okay, girls.
Hi there, hon. Nice to meet you, brave kids.
Ed and Lorraine, they are demonologists who take what they do very seriously.
We're going into a haunted mental hospital that's been closed up for years.
Oh.
What? A haunted mental hospital.
There have been people who did not die naturally in that hospital,
Many of them were injured, were murdered, were tortured, and those are the ones that haunt this mental hospital today.
I had no idea that we are really about to be involved in some serious...
You see, ordinarily, I would never allow anybody like you to go where you're going. You go there on free will, got it?
On our own, sure.
On your own.
So what's the...
Any psychological or physical harm that comes to you, we cannot be responsible because we are warning you about it. You don't have to go into it if you don't want to. Understand that. You do not have to go into it.
Wait, stop, pause. They don't have to do it. They're not being made to do it. Reality TV show contracts are now crazy where it's like, if you die, you can't sue us. And this nice old man's like, you don't have to do it. You're doing it of your own volition. Not only, like, wow. Like, wow. TJ would never do that. Also, Puck is our host, not TJ. It's true what they say. It does get better. We got TJ. We started with Puck. Enough said.
Ed and Lorraine tell us that we're going to an insane asylum. We're going to have to spend the night there.
That's your mission when you go there, to get evidence. And you're going to get it through photographs, through recordings.
When you feel something is near, if you see a darkness darker than the darkness, take a picture of it.
Now feels like an amazing time to bring up something that I've already brought up, and I'm going to bring up for probably most of these early seasons. This is now considered the fifth sport, and their first ever challenge or mission or whatever you want to call it is hanging out in an allegedly haunted mental hospital, just like all baseball and basketball players do, you know? It's how Larry Bird trained, you know? Lenny Dykstra of the Phillies, yeah, he really spent some good hours training with ghosts. I know they didn't know what they were doing. I know, so don't at me for that. I know they didn't realize what this was going to evolve into, and hell, this is a Road Rules with Real Worlders season. This is not even a challenge as we know it. But this is the genesis. This is the genesis of the fifth sport. And I can't say that without I can't keep a straight face, because this tickles me. Does this tickle you as much as it tickles me? Like, please let me know. I'm loving this so much.
Spirits leap. That's what I heard. If you play with this kind of stuff, spirits leap. And I don't want nothing in me. Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to mess with it.
Exactly. I don't want nothing jumping in me.
So is Cynthia not going to do that? I'm not saying I agree or disagree, to each their own. It's of their own volition. They don't have to do it. But again, I'm going to point out TJ would never let this fly. Like, where's TJ yelling about quitters, which I think is actually kind of toxic. We'll get there when we get there. But like, these challengers had it so easy. Oh my God. The pioneers had it the easiest. That's not usually the case.
My mother always told me, if you play with the devil, he will leap in you, and that'll be it.
Do not be afraid of those who kill the body and that after that can do no more. But I will show you whom you should fear. Fear him who, after killing of the body, has power to throw you into hell. Yes, I tell you, fear him. I gotta find the one that says, fear not, for the Lord is with you all.
You know, I kind of respect that John seems to be wanting to do the challenge. I do know some Christians who are a little closer to what Cynthia said. I've heard it get even crazier than that, actually. As a non-believer, it all sounds kind of wild to me, but I don't know. It's kind of cute that he's just looking to have Jesus walk with him, take the wheel or something. I guess it's a good compromise. I've seen a lot of people opt out of stuff for religion, and never mind that I'm a non-believer, but like, I understand. I do respect the freedom to practice religion. I really do. I think that's another story for another time, but that's the fabric of our society, and it kind of protects everyone. But I've seen people also abuse that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I kind of thought John wouldn't want to do this too, but it looks like he's just looking for Jesus to take the wheel and help him out. And even though I don't believe in that, yeah, it's a good compromise. It's a good compromise.
I think we should drive as close to the door as possible in case we have to make an exit.
Okay, I'm not even the biggest Rachel fan, but I need to give credit where credit is due. The first ever strategic game move by a challenger in challenge history was by a woman. I'm just saying, for all the, the island era when they were all like, ooh, girls are bad and dumb and useless. I wish I wasn't quoting verbatim, but I pretty much am. This is, no, strategy started with a woman. Thank you, Rachel, for your service. Boy, is it downhill from here. It is downhill from here. Like, sorry, women. We got a while after this point until things get better again.
The insane asylum is really freaky, and it has a really eerie, heavy feeling to it.
There is no way in hell I can stay in here.
The first place we went into was the morgue.
We have the spirits with us tonight?
And when we get there, there's like 12 psychics, and Ed and Lorraine.
Cynthia right now is freaking out that she's gonna have to spend a night in a haunted insane asylum.
I do a lot of like work normalizing dialogues around death because I've had a lot of death and loss, but I didn't know. I should have known, maybe, but I didn't know that there's morgues in psychiatric hospitals. I guess that makes sense. It's a hospital. I know there's morgues in normal hospitals, but there's just something really dark about that to me. That's like a lot of, I don't know what they're called, but cabinets for the bodies to be in. There's a lot. Like, how many people are they expecting to die at once in a psychiatric hospital? How big is this place? Looked kind of small from the nighttime cameras. How many people could have died? Like, I have questions is all I'm trying to say. I have concerns.
If something does come up, you get very scared, right? You make the sign of the cross, very large, and you say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave and go back to where you came from. But it's only as potent as your belief in it.
Okay, I live in LA, so I know a lot of people who fancy themselves witches and just like woo-woo and paranormal experts, and I've never heard anyone refer to any type of Christianity as a sign of protection. That's brand new to me. That is brand new information. Like, times have changed since 1998. Ghost hunters tend to not be too Jesus-y these days. I'm just saying.
I want the spirit to come into me.
You want to feel the spirit?
Pray to God.
Eric Nies, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like Eric Nies is the type of kid where if you were playing like video games with him, he'd be like, do you want to watch me play for a while? I'm really good at it. You'll see it. You'll have fun.
You're not asking the spirit to enter you.
That's what he's
I'm
saying,
asking him to
Lorraine.
come, I want him to come, I want to feel the spirit that I'm calling to come through me, which I believe is a positive
not
spirit.
to enter you. No,
You don't
dear.
want that, Eric.
No.
Eric feels that he can kick any ghost's ass, and therefore he's not afraid.
I have faith. I have
Lorraine,
faith.
if he's going to be challenging spirits, then maybe it's not safe for the rest of us.
I'm not challenging the spirit.
That's what she's saying. You're
no,
doing.
but that's
If
not what I'm
something
doing.
Listen to what she's saying.
If something enters you, dear, you're no longer there.
Well, if ghosts don't scare him, him not being him will. So good job, lady. You found his kryptonite. You found what's going to make him not want to fight ghosts. Like, how does one fight ghosts? Like, what does he think ghosts are? Like, I have questions.
This is what we should do, okay? Eric and I will, like, sit right down here, alright? Look at the girls. Say, dude, I think there's a time. You don't know where we are, alright?
We put Eric and Sean at the end of the hallway. I'm gonna go up and tell the girls that I saw something.
Rachel!
And we're gonna scare them to death.
Come here, I saw that. I swear.
We just saw something too, and I'm ready to write it down.
What'd you see?
We saw lights. We saw eyes.
It's hard for me to talk them into coming back downstairs because they really think that they've just seen something.
We saw a child
With a
and
man standing over him.
abusing the child.
Hey, will you three go in there with me and show me what they saw?
Well, I talked them into coming down there because the three psychic ladies were gonna come down too.
Cynthia, come on, come with me.
I don't want nothing touching me.
Nothing touched me.
I don't want to be close to it.
Well, I'll stand in front of you. It'll touch me first.
The clairvoyants that were with us started to sense some sort of spirits.
Did you feel the sadness?
Okay, let me see. I'm recording.
Yeah, I saw it.
You see something?
Oh my God.
He's coming towards me. I don't believe he's there.
He's reaching out. He's reaching out for you.
Well,
Oh, right there, John. He's right. You're right with him. Feel anything?
I don't feel squat. Is he still here?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
The
women were just so pissed. Like, they got in their cars and they left.
Oh man, yeah, the women were so pissed they got in their cars and left. You ding dong, you disrespected them on their own turf. I don't believe in any of this, but like, they do, and this is their life. Like, you're laughing like a jerk-off frat boy in a workout video, singing even though you can't sing with your contract, and you're making fun of scaring people or insulting people off of their own workspace. Like, hilarious. Disrespect is so funny. This guy does new age stuff now and tries to promote peace. I have questions. Oh, I have questions. I should warn you about this next clip, but we're just gonna watch. We're just gonna watch.
Here's the deal. We have to sit down, in the psych ward all night long. We might as well have a good time.
It was 3:30 in the morning, and we started going nuts ourselves.
We're sending this to animals. It was so crazy.
It turned into quite a entertainment extravaganza.
We are trapped in here until 6 in the morning. Imagine what would happen if you were here for 2 years.
No, I don't want to imagine. No, I don't. Anyway, they have breakfast or something with the paranormal couple. I think they're a couple. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if they're not. But they review their notes that they took throughout the night, and it goes about as well as it can for Eric Nies.
4:35 a.m. Why are we still up? This is really a bad joke. You wrote that in my signature. How old are you?
26.
I'm 71. I spent 50 years of my life going around the world investigating hauntings and ghosts. Now, I treated you with respect. I expected the same thing.
Again, I completely agree. This is not my cup of tea. This is not something in my belief system, but I'm a big fan of respecting people and meeting people with where they're at and not, I don't know, making fun of them to their face. Like, that's weird. Like, it's so passive aggressive. Like, it's just, I'm on the guy's side. I'm on the paranormal guy's side on this.
I apologized to Ed and Lorraine and, explained to them, hey, you guys had us locked down there for 6 hours, and Ed totally understood that.
Nothing screams, I'm so sincerely sorry, like mansplaining why you did what you did and saying, it's all good. Like, he forgave me, he understood. When we don't even get to see that footage. But anyway, they look through, like, photos, because they printed them out, because it's 1998. I don't think we had digital cameras yet. And they look through stuff and they see, it just looks like really bad photography, guys.
What's this?
I don't know what they are. Some kind of blur.
It could be psychic energy if it's not something in front of the camera.
Did you know these were here?
Yeah, I seen them, but I'm thinking they were just blurs.
So did I.
I didn't think nothing of it.
It looks like psychic energy.
Looks like psychic energy to me, too. That's our two.
Like, I'm not a believer because of this scene, but I am really impressed with the 1 hour photo that they must have found in order to, like, the 24-hour 1 hour photo at that. So where'd they get these prints from? I don't know. The paranormal researchers, clairvoyants, whatever they are, they seem to think that these terrible photographs meant something, but I just see people who have no artistic eye taking photos in the dark. But that's just me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a former photographer, but that's fine. Two schools of thought.
Okay, Mr. Platinum Workout Video. We all know you're really a mama's boy. So that's just where you're gonna go. Yeah! My mommy. I'm going to the grind house, baby.
And I was very excited, to go home. It was cool that the rest of the cast was going to get to come to my house and, meet my family and my friends.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hey, good to meet you.
You're welcome.
So Eric's mom brings us all in the kitchen. She says she's got something baking for us in the oven.
Oh my God. They baked a clue. Reality TV needed to get a clue. That's a bad joke, but I don't care. It was there. I had to take it. Like, Reality TV in 1998 was barely a thing, so I can't fault them too much, but it is so funny to see how primitive it is and how they're like, let's just hide the clue in an oven. Like, the cassette is in there, the oven's not turned on, and this was just a gag that they probably saw be set up, because I'm in the business, guys, I know how this works. But thank God we don't bake clues anymore. They just aren't so heavy-handed with whatever's next on a reality TV show. No fake baking needed. Like, I shouldn't be making fun. They didn't know. They did not know. You can't blame people for what they don't know, but fifth sport, y'all. Fifth sport. Fifth sport. This is the fifth sport.
Okay, you guys have had enough fun. You want some cash?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta work for it, man.
Oh, God.
Tucky had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And if you losers want some cash, to New Zealand you must...
I had no memory of the first ever challenge not being stateside. I thought the international vacations came later for some reason. Like, I know one of the earlier ones was in Telluride, Colorado, and a bunch were in like Mexico. So I know that they like kind of split their time between stateside and elsewhere, but I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's Road Rules, and Road Rules did do a lot of also stateside challenges, but they also, you know, did a semester at sea and South Pacific and Australia and other things. So I don't know how I know that. I don't remember Road Rules that well, so I don't know how I remember that. I'm actually kind of impressed. My memory's not always my friend these days, so I'm gonna take that as a win. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting because we're doing kind of a retrospective, and it's always interesting to see what you remember versus what you don't. So did you guys remember from the jump that they were just going to New Zealand? The Duel 2 was filmed in New Zealand, right? So that was the second time that we were in New Zealand for a challenge? I didn't know that either. Learning a lot. We're just finishing the first episode, and I'm learning so much. So this episode ended very abruptly because it was recorded and uploaded, and who knows what was lost along the way, or like didn't record all the way or whatever. So here we go, episode 2. So we get some more of Rachel's backstory with her injury, and we actually now, just in a second, get to see her and Sean kind of look a little more coupley. They had the boobies talk at the table, you know, in front of like other castmates, as you do in the beginning of early romances. You know, they were clearly in some footage like next to each other, but this is the first time we see them looking kind of date-like.
On crutches for, 4 to 4 months.
You're gonna be all right one day, or it's like a real permanent kind of thing?
No, when they take the metal out, it'll be okay.
Where's the metal?
Oh, here. Here.
What about the other guys, right?
No. Everybody died.
It's tough.
This is actually really cute, but I just have a quick question. Like, why does it look like a 1930s black and white movie where they're on a picnic date? It is 1998. It is about to be Woodstock 99. New metal is a thing, and we're like, let's be retro and have a black and white picnic. Like, I'm not mad at the choice, but I don't understand it either. There's space for two things to be true at once, you know. What are your thoughts? The real world or Road Rules or the challenge ever done just black and white for no reason to like embellish the romance of it all? This is a new move. I don't remember seeing this before.
No, seriously, how does it feel?
I feel very off balance.
Go carrying her with her bag. Oh, all right.
Eric is the one that has been the most helpful with my bags. That's a strong point.
This is our new bagel. This thing is ugly.
All right, I gotta mute this because there's some country song playing that I'm sure I'm gonna get dinged for if I, copyright wise, but yeah, John called it ugly, and I agree, so I'm just gonna voice over it because look at this. You need to see it. You don't need to hear the music. This is just, I'm not a fan.
And find the farm of Raymond Matthews.
Sean and Rachel really seem to like one another. They have fun together, and it's probably only natural that two people are going to take a liking to one another and hook up. It's really none of my business.
Oh, Christmas came early. I don't judge sex shops. You're not really my friend unless I've taken you to a sex shop because I'm weird and I don't have boundaries. But Congressman went to a sex shop with a peep show. You don't see those all the time. With his future wife, not quite girlfriend yet though. And it's not even an American sex shop because they're in New Zealand. I just can't write this stuff, you know? Truth is stranger than fiction, and I'm not mad at it.
We are going to deal with sheep on a farm.
This is beautiful country. Are you aware?
I am aware.
Us boys in front are getting kind of horny. We see all these sheep all over.
Why does farms or sheep or beautiful mountain countrysides, Winnebagos, I don't know. Why does that turn you on? I'm not trying to kink shame, but I have questions. I have a lot of questions actually.
First thing I seen him do was look at his watch.
He's pissed.
The farm hands are there waiting for us, and they're a little annoyed because we're late. 1 hour late.
Okay, part of the fun of having like a more long-form discussion, challenge, reaction show or whatever is like we can really talk about the early days of TV, which I've already hinted at with the whole baking a clue thing. When did it take over that cast members could do nothing of their own volition? Because like eventually they got wrangled. Like so much has been cracked down on. I know in future seasons, in like the early seasons, you can see them talking on cell phones. I know that they had days off from filming and could like go do their thing away from cameras and enjoy the city or town that they were in. And apparently they were not on a real schedule. They had a schedule, but they just ran late. I feel like maybe this is a Road Rules thing. I don't remember Road Rules as well, so please forgive me. Maybe that's a part of completing a mission and getting the handsome reward or whatever. This is not inside baseball to me. I just did not watch a lot of Road Rules, but it's just so funny because I'm thinking of a time, because another reality show that I got into, there's not a lot, but one of the ones I did was America's Next Top Model, and I know a girl ran late because they just like left her behind in season 2, I think, and she just had to figure out how to get there on her own. Like it was like crude. Like old school reality TV is kind of crude, and I just want to take a moment to appreciate this, that I don't, if they ever ran late with TJ, it would be because of like traffic or something legitimate, but they'd all be wrangled out of the house at like 7 a.m. I feel like, am I wrong? Like this is wild. This is just bonkers insane to watch. But of course I'm going to say it again. This is the fifth sport, and we're going to herd/wrangle sheep today, just like Dan Marino would do between seasons. And if you're clocking that I only know 90s sports references, you're very astute. You're very astute. And yeah, go sports. I clearly cared after Y2K. I clearly cared. No, I dropped out of sports. No. All right, but let's watch them be sporty and herd sheep. Okay, so I had to turn down this music because a ska song is playing and I don't want to get dinged for copyright, but yeah, let's just enjoy this old reality show of them herding sheep. And this is riveting television in 1998. This goes on for a while. Really regret not showing my border collie when she was still alive, this show. I feel like she would have found this riveting. Her cremation urn is like right up there. I could grab it, but that'd be too dark, I think, for this show. So just know that I got a couple dead dogs up here that would just make my dark comedy heart very happy if you just remember that from time to time. Dead dogs, they're up there.
I don't do anything that causes me to sweat.
You said you would do this.
And will not engage in anything that makes me feel like I could break a nail.
My nail gonna break, hold on.
I'm sorry, I just don't think so.
I have to be brutally honest here. I don't find this very interesting. I mean, if you're gonna take a bunch of hot 20-somethings, don't make them wear overalls and boots and herd sheep. Like, I'm not saying they should be objectified. I'm really not actually saying that. Sounds like I am. I hear it. But I'd rather watch the romance between Republicans. I'd rather, there's drama coming, and it gets very fun. I'd rather watch that. Sheep herding? I don't know. That's just, I don't think that's ever been a television main event ratings bonanza. I just don't. Yeah, this just isn't for me. This just is not for me. And this wouldn't be an episode of season 1 without showing Sean and Rachel falling in love, and she says this.
Stop getting fresh with me.
And it's like, I don't know, I think he got pretty fresh probably in the peep show and talking about grabbing boobies, but sure, this is where you draw the line. Yeah, that makes sense.
I've always wanted to travel to Australia or New Zealand. So every time I think about, oh man, I went to New Zealand, I'm gonna think about each one of you people. And I can't forget about the real world no matter how hard I try. We've already established that for everybody.
That's not going to happen.
Exactly.
You can't ever forget about it. Because it's always going to be people on the street.
I mean,
people you
yeah,
run into that's going to remind you of that
we got lives.
It's like, you know, you meet somebody for the first time and all of a sudden they're like, you know, they're like your best friend and they're like, they want your number and they want to call you, they want to hang out with you.
They're trying to befriend you is what's happening.
Right.
I kept this clip in because I thought it was super interesting because this is pre-social media and really pre-reality TV becoming what it was. This was before Survivor, before Big Brother, before America's Next Top Model, before a bunch of dumb dating shows like Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire and other things I've forgotten, The Swan, all these plastic surgery shows. Like, this was not a thing yet. This was not a thing yet. We had not lived through that nonsense yet. And people forget, like, the Real World and all of its sister shows were very much guinea pigs. They had no idea. I mean, like, as the seasons went on, they had an idea, but like there wasn't like an abundance of literature of what it's like to have people feel like they intimately know you because you showed parts of your life on TV that were probably edited to look different than how it actually happened, and just the mind effery of that. I feel like a lot of people probably have these conversations now when they hit fame at all, specifically probably reality TV because that's more intimate, but it's one of the first times that this is probably being documented, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But then Eric ruins the moment because it wouldn't be an episode with Eric Nies unless that happened.
And it's like, you know, it's like I'm not trying to have 100,000 friends, you know. I love my friends, I love my family, and I love my life that I have. And, you know, like I say now, like to Sean and to you, you know, like it would be great for us all to get together and to go to Lake Placid in the beginning of summer next year and do that. But you want to know something? Chances are the possibilities of that happening are very slim because of what I do and because of what my job is.
Why do you even bring it up? Why do you even say it? That makes you just as bad as anyone coming up to you.
I know, you're right.
You may not be aware of how it comes off when you say that, Eric, the things that you just said right now, but it comes off like, I got a lot of stuff going on, my life is great, and we're not important enough.
Okay, I really believe in giving everyone a fair shake, and that's what I would try to do on my TikTok, which was sometimes complicated with how short the clips were, and not everyone would see what I'd say before or after regarding the same person. So let's talk about what Eric said. I mean, okay, on one hand, it's kind of a douchey thing, right? Like, it is. Like, we're not going to see each other because I'm so busy. Like, no, let's not skirt around that. That's not great. It reminds me of one time I had a friend, and he was all like, yeah, sometimes friends just aren't forever, and that's okay. So whenever I bond with people, it's okay if we never talk to each other again, because that's life, and it's fun to be fluid and move around, and you lose touch, you lose touch. And it's like, okay, I get it. As somebody who has lifelong friends, we are not the same. We do not have the same values. Okay, believe people when they tell you who they are. But also, there is like, I kind of get what he's saying, but he's just sort of a me monster that he's not quite saying it right. People, whenever they get together in a group, whether it's for the first time, which I think most of these individuals did not know each other, or whether it's like a homecoming and they all get together, it's easy to be like, let's do this again in a year, but life does kind of take over, and it's not always easy to get the band back together again, no matter how much people hope that can happen. So I think the sentiment of what he's saying is probably the intent of how he meant it, but he just had to be him and be like, because, you know, I'm so busy. So he deflated his own otherwise kind of logical thing. Like, if all he had to do was just be like, you know, it'd be great if we could all get together at Lake Placid next year, but, you know, honestly, we're all so busy. That would have been great. We're all so busy. like, was Sean running for Congress yet? Probably not. But I mean, like, come on, Eric. Like, I don't like Sean's politics, but you're not even the most important person from this cast. Like, Sean, he was in government. He's a part of history. The grind isn't. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not. Okay, I kind of feel like the cameras at this next scene just kind of jumped in midway through the fight because I'm missing a little bit of exposition here, but I think the too long didn't read, and all you need to know going in is that Eric is the villain of this season. Like, he's clearly getting the villain edit. I think he's handing it to them, to be honest with you. I guess they're at breakfast or lunch now, and they're all together, and they get into another fight.
You, Eric? I can't imagine you being married.
I know. You can't keep your eyes off anything that walks by.
If I was in love with my wife and I was had kids, I wouldn't be looking at other women.
That's not necessarily true.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I would do. Not what you think I would do. I'm telling you what I would do.
So what did you say earlier? Yesterday? You can't teach an old dog new tricks? That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
And you said all men are dogs, right? Even the married ones, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. That's all I want to know.
So does that go for me? Does that go for me? Or does that go for
Eric and Cynthia have a strange relationship. Sometimes it's love and sometimes it's hate, but there's definitely something going on.
Cynthia and Eric? Since when? There was not even, like, there's no hint of that whatsoever. Like, that was not, I promise you I didn't edit anything out. I barely have seen them interact. Did something happen off camera on an off day? Like, what, and now Rachel's outing them? I have questions. Reality TV, I think it's creepy as hell that they, like, installed bedroom cameras. Like, that's so not okay. But, like, at the same time, at least we don't miss anything. And I can't believe I'm saying that, and I feel kind of gross. But, like, these early days of reality TV, it's so much he said, she said, because, like, we don't see it all, because I don't think they hired enough camera people to, like, catch all the action 24/7. Cynthia and Eric, though. That's a weird couple. That's a weird pairing. Beautiful, beautiful people, but weird. But if you forgot about the transistor radio where Puck communicates to them, are they FedExing these tapes to New Zealand? Is Puck in New Zealand? This is just dawning on me now. He must have pre-recorded all this, and they're just being extra. Like, see, they don't even have the cassette with them. See, they got to pick it up at the just watch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, fine. Eric.
Eric, come here.
This is Major Puck to ground control. Vroom, vroom! That's the sound of my old soapbox derby car, the Snot Rocket. You remember that, don't you, Rachel? You wouldn't go all the way last time, but now you'll get your chance. Strap yourselves in, because it's going to be a wild ride. Woo-hoo!
It's the boats.
So they go to their next mission.
I'm crazy.
Right back. Wriggle back. That's it.
Make sure you strap me in good. Well, I let him hoist me all the way up. By this time, I'm like this.
I feel like the secondary title of this episode should be I Have Questions, because what is this? What is this? What is it? Is it a theme park ride, or is it one of those, like, extreme sports that in the 90s were created and never took off? What is this? For real, what is it? Wait, like, I guess this is cool and all, but didn't they already have a mission? Like, they were just herding sheep and milking cows, and now they're just riding in soapbox derby airplanes? The 90s were wild. Reality TV competition sports shows were wild. I don't think they're even competing. I think they're just zipping around, having a grand old time, which is great. If I could be on TV just riding what looks to be theme park rides in the middle of nowhere, I would do that. I'm not gonna lie. Nice work if you can get it. But anyway, like episode 1, it ends very abruptly, and I'm sorry, I'm not in control of how this was all recorded and stuff. But right before it ends, it just randomly has Rachel talking about how she didn't like Sean, but now she does. So watch that, and then we'll be in episode 3.
There's 1,000,001 reasons why I wouldn't go for Sean, except that he's like such a great guy. What you see is what you get, and he just grows on you, and Every time you see him, he seems just a little bit more attractive. And he just won me over with his niceness, for sure.
We have another clue.
Mr. Puck gives us clue number 3.
All right, you little Beethovens. You guys are going to write me a new song. And it's going to be the theme for the show. So for now, put all your little heads together and crank out a new tune.
They have to write a song? Like, America's Next Top Model, as you know, I also watched, and Tyra didn't, well, she jumped shark a lot, but she did not jump shark involving the contestants watching music until, I think it was like season 17 cycle, 17. I guess they think that they have 2 musicians, or I'm sorry, a musician and a Eric Nies musician in the bunch. You think Eric would be all over this one, but spoiler alert, he's not.
Eric had some reservations about doing the song because of copyright and his career and whatnot.
I didn't want to get involved with doing something where I wasn't going to be able to get a piece of the pie.
Eric, having a record deal for no reason, puts that to good use here. He puts it to really good use. And by good use, I mean no use, because he's not having it. He's like Diana Ross. He doesn't want to be a Supreme. He wants to be Diana Ross, you know? John's an actual musician, so maybe this won't be a train wreck.
What?
Okay, try it with washed up and try it with advent.
Oh, washed up the world. Pick to go on an adventure and win their handsome reward.
I think I said this already in the episode, but I'm not the biggest country fan in the world. I'm just not, but that sounded pretty good. It sounds like they understood the assignment. Like, good job. Good job. No snark from me. Good job. To end the clip, they're having a grand old time. And the way it ends, it just might be my new favorite. Just watch. Just watch. The artsy silhouette in the window. Because you're left out because you chose to not participate in writing a song that's not going to matter. So you have a serious recording career coming. Yeah. Eric is so fun this season. I'm not going to lie. I was thinking earlier today, maybe by the end of the season I should do MVPs or like superlatives. And I thought he was going to rank so low, and he does. But he is very fun to talk about, and I'm finding that out while doing this. So I don't know. He may have moved up in the ranks. He is the most entertaining part of this show, and buckle up because this episode only gets better in the Eric Nies department.
The separation is definitely still there between myself and Cynthia, Rachel, and Sean, and John, the mediator, chilling in between.
Well, we got a little bit of a competition for you guys today. We're going to give you $150 to the winner.
It's called Zorb.
Zorb, yep, Z-O-R-B.
Oh my God! Look at that ball! Oh, they are. Yeah! Zorbing is getting in this huge nylon plastic ball inside it, rolling around, rolling down a hill. Okay.
We're going to go all the way down to where those trees are?
Yeah, see where the lake is. We'll bounce over the highway.
Okay, A, I had no idea this was called Zorbing, and B, can any challenge heads out there tell me how often this has been done? I feel like my brain's kind of soup these days, but I know we've seen them in big, ridiculous balls before. I'm just not thinking of what season or what the challenge specifically was, like if it was something close to this or if it was something similar but like a little bit different. Like I'm remembering, I want to say Duel 2. I remember one season they were in something rolling down the hill. I feel like Kim was in that and Dunbar. So I'm thinking Duel 2 or maybe not Cutthroat, but what was the other one that was kind of ruins maybe. All of this is to say is this feels historic because I think this is definitely the first absurd challenge that started to set the tone for the rest of the challenges to come. Like we don't herd sheep a ton, I think, in the future. I don't think we spend a lot of time in mental hospitals too, but like this is setting the tone for what's to come, which is why I'm making a big to-do about it. So challenge history in the making right now. okay not being a big Road Rules person. I'm still very confused about the structure of this and who's winning, who's not, how they lose, how they fail missions. I don't really get it. But Eric lost to Rachel. And I'm not really a big fan of either of them, but good to Rachel. Gotta do some... You know, I'm not even a big, like, gender war kind of chick, but at the same token, the challenge eventually becomes the epicenter of gender wars, so I just have to take a win for my kind, and just, we get battered a lot in later seasons, and a woman beat a very athletic man with a fitness show, a workout show, and I think that's really nice. I know that there's not athleticism involved in this. This is just rolling down the hill, and you're just along for the ride, quite literally. But look, guys, if you don't know, the challenge gets really dark when it comes to like female gaze stuff. It doesn't exist. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna take this. Thank you, Rachel, for winning. Thank you for maybe being the first winner on the show, because I'm not convinced that they won the past challenges. They got paid, but I guess it was a group effort. Right? What's happening? Like, how do they win? Someone explain the rules to me, because I clearly don't understand.
No support rule. I haven't had support for the last 2.5 weeks, but it's all right.
Ooh, sick burn. The passive aggressiveness looks great on nobody. Like, they're getting money to just roll down a hill in a human hamster ball that's apparently called sorbing. Why was I not a hot 20-something in the 90s? I could have done that. Like, God, how different would my life be? Or maybe I don't want to do that. I don't know. This is a jump ball. This is, no pun intended, a jump ball for me.
What happened to the balloon? Exploded.
You hurt? John, are you all right?
What's hurt? If it's your back and your neck, don't move, dude.
It's your neck?
No.
What hurts on you? It's not your back, it's not your neck. All right.
Oh. Thought this stinking thing wasn't supposed to pop. I think you need to re-engineer your ball.
Okay, we gotta do a thought exercise. Imagine it's 1998 and you just got off a reality show, and let's say you got seriously injured, just like John nearly did, because he rolled down the hill in a hamster ball that's called zorbing. So then you have to explain to all your people and everyone you meet why you're injured or disfigured or, I don't know, whatever can happen to you in a human hamster ball. And it's like, oh, I was rolling down the hill in a big ball like how hamsters do. It was in New Zealand, by the way. And it's for a television show, and they hadn't ironed out how to keep stunts safe. Probably hadn't tested it a lot, so now I got all my bones broken or whatever. People just wouldn't believe you. Like, that sounds made up. That sounds a little made up in 2023, but we know what reality TV is and how zany it is, so it's, I guess, believable. But 1998 audience, can you imagine if you had a serious injury from this specific mission? How would you explain that to your friends and family? Or strangers who don't already know you're on reality TV? Like, this is a trip, guys. This is a trip. But seeing as they did not work out the kinks of this challenge, and I'm assuming John probably could have really been injured, I'm just glad that they didn't, try to guinea pig it with heights over water challenges yet. That would have been mortal. That would have been... So they do fun runs for reasons, but this time with water? So they slip or stay put more, or it's safer somehow with water? I have questions. But they do this, and it takes up a lot of time, because this was riveting television in 1998, so they do this.
Right now we're going to dump about 2 buckets of water in one of these zorbs. We'll slide in it, and we'll stay put, but the ball will continue to roll around us.
Like, this is just summer camp for adults, but they're getting paid to do it instead of paying to do these things. That's what the challenge often is in the early days, which is fun, but this is the first time where that really shows.
I'm doing it again. I'm going again? I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. Eddie!
Eric, come on!
I want to go down one more time.
Hey, Eddie! Let's go.
I'm going down one more time.
No, you're not.
Then I'll meet you in Auckland.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I want to go down one more time. Are you serious that you would actually leave me here and not wait to go down one more time? It's not my fault you guys are cold and you don't want to do this.
Did I nail the whole Eric was the kid playing video games, being like, watch me play for a few rounds? Or did I nail it? Like, guys, when I'm right, I'm right.
You guys been complaining for 2.5 weeks. Tired of your
Who is he talking to? I don't give a what's around. His ass is tripping. He don't talk. Wait a minute. If he wants to be left here, leave his out here. Take his out the car and leave his ass.
I'm always on Cynthia's side, but I'm really on her side right now. Like, what the hey? And also, like, I think production was too hands-off in the early days. Let's talk about that for a quick second. They would be wrangled onto the bus now. There's no dilly-dallying. Time is money. But this is the Eric Nies show, according to Eric Nies. So he wants to do another slip and slide in a ball or something and go down. I don't know. I guess that's cool. I guess maybe. That doesn't sound fun to me. But a lot of things aren't fun to me that are fun to other people, so no judgment. But, like, I think they already did it a bunch, so he's just being kind of extra doing it once, and then he's all like, it's not my fault you guys are cold. Like, way to be empathetic. He's a spiritual leader now. Seriously, he did a guided meditation for, like, the LA homecoming. This guy. I mean, people can change, but sometimes we are who we are, too. I'm very confused. What is Eric Nies really like? Someone tell me.
I'm asking you if you guys seemed like you were gonna leave with my stuff.
Hold up, man. Don't
get tired of you complaining in the cold and let's go and this and that.
What are you gonna do? We're supposed to go to Auckland now.
I'll meet you guys there.
What is this for you?
What is this for me?
This is a real experience for me.
This is an experience, but you know what? I expressed myself about why I'm on this trip and what I'm doing here, and everybody had an attitude with me.
And why what?
Everybody had an attitude.
That's what you're about.
Everybody's acting stupid like we're on freaking Real World or something.
It's not a personal thing between me and you.
Believe me.
Or me and Sean. Or me and Cynthia.
Believe me, it's not.
Cool. Well, you took it personal. You took it to heart.
No, I didn't. You know what? I didn't take it personal at all. I decided I'm going to devote my relationship building, because that's something that's important to me, to the people who want a relationship with me. Why do I care about somebody who basically says, I don't really give a damn about any of you people?
That's not what I said.
We're coworkers.
I didn't say I didn't give a damn about any of you.
What did you say,
If I didn't give a damn about any of you, why would I even associate or communicate?
Because you have to in this
Can you
situation.
respect that?
Yeah, you're doing business. You're doing business, Eric. But the thing is this, the way that you say...
And I'm stepping off the bench, because you guys ain't cool with what I'm doing.
Eric, I brought some stuff in. Let's just...
No, I'm straight, man. I'm out. No, don't. What are you I'm out of here, bro. I'm tired of it. What, so now I'm going to be on the road trip for the next week and a half with attitude?
I don't want one of our people leaving Tobago. That sucks.
It's funny, because I'm down at the bottom of the hill and I want to take one more thing in that damn bubble, and you can't respect that.
So after you do your run, you'll be happy and you'll come back and then we can go after that?
Look, after all this mess, I'm not going to get out of this damn fan and go take one more run. You know what I'm saying?
After all of this, you should get out of the car and go and take you one more run.
For what, though? For what?
You want to roll down the hill one more time, then you roll your ass right on down this hill, okay?
I'll roll down.
We can argue all the way to Auckland.
I mean, like, I appreciate Cynthia for being a peacekeeper. I like her so much for a reason. But I'm kind of actually, I never thought I'd say this, but on Sean's side, if you go back and watch, he's like, his body language is not having it. And like, the only reason why it's like, yeah, she has a point where it's like, yeah, one more roll, fine, just do it. But that's a big hill. How long does it take him to get up the hill? I guess it takes him probably relatively fast to go down the hill because that's gravity and physics. But like, it's like a jaunt, I feel like, to get up there. So everyone's just stopping for Eric to do this. He got his way. Like, must be amazing to be Eric Nies. I need more Eric Nies energy. I never get what I want. I don't really want to be like Eric Nies, but I'd like to have that part of his essence, you know?
Y'all did this to him. You started out talking about he's so perfect. He's so this. I didn't. You didn't do that? Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Rachel. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I'm not trying to argue with you about this. You guys. You fell hard too. What?
In Connecticut, Eric and Cynthia had an encounter of some sort, and a physical encounter.
That's so gossipy. That's not our business. But again, why is this not happening on camera? Like, we don't, like, this is so random. This is just not something worth shipping or even having an opinion about, because it's just Rachel for the most part, I think, if only Rachel maybe, talking about this encounter or physical experience or connection or ego stroking or other I don't know. But like, it's just like a lot of drama and we don't even have the context. And I don't think Eric or Cynthia has said anything about each other this entire season so far. So like, is Rachel just stirring the pot, or did something really happen?
You don't think that anything you ever did with Eric, to Eric, said to Eric, ever let him think that he had it?
No, because he didn't have it. Because he could have got it if he had it. He didn't get it.
Get the booty?
He did not get it. Yes, he did not get it. You want to know what he got?
The hand.
Thank you. Okay? That's what he got.
Question, because I was a very young human in 1998. The hand, is that like don't talk to the hand? Like she pushed him away, or does that mean hand stuff? I wish I wasn't genuinely asking, but I kind of am, because I just don't understand what they're high-fiving about, and I want to be a cool kid and know what they're talking about, but I'm not that cool. What's going on?
I'm not saying that I'm the most perfect person in the world. You know, I have my flaws and stuff, but I just think that in today's society, everybody needs to treat each other better.
Everybody seems to overlook all the good things about Eric, and they just see, you know, the bad things. The things I remember about Eric, especially on this trip, is, you know, well, Rachel, let me carry your bag for you. Okay, I'll carry this too. Or, I don't care where we eat, where would you all like to eat? Or I don't care where we stay, where would you all like to stay? And everybody seems to overlook all of that stuff, and I guess maybe I'm the only person that recognizes that.
See, this is why I like John, though. Like, yes, I love snarking on Eric Nies, and I think it's going to be my pastime for the rest of the season. Not sorry, but everybody's a human. Everybody has good and bad, and I purposely kept a clip in from the first episode where he was helping people with the bags. It's kind of a blink and you miss it thing. But John has receipts for what he's saying, and I always, if you followed me on TikTok with this stuff, oh, I love going into like Matt from New Orleans, and yeah, Julie's kind of a villain who villains, and I don't have a lot of excuses for a lot of her behaviors, but every once in a while she'd kind of get me, or I'd be like, well, let's actually unpack her religious trauma. I think that informed a lot of really bad messaging and this, that, and the other, and religious trauma is real, and you do have to be deprogrammed, and like, I think that's part of why TikTok wasn't really working for me in a lot of ways, because it's just a little too short form, and people like instant gratification and don't necessarily like nuance, although TikTok is better than other social media, to be fair. But I think with clips like this from these shows, it's kind of a fool's errand, which is why I was getting a little uncomfortable. But since it's like a longer episode kind of style of like reacting, yeah, you know what's interesting? Watching New York Homecoming, which he had to be quarantined away from because he had COVID, so he was Zooming in all the time, and then he got to do some spiritual retreat thing for Los Angeles Homecoming. He was likable, like more likable than he's being here. I will give him that credit. I do, and I think that's why I like John, because he'll call people out. Like, I've seen him do that before. He seems like a straight shooter, and I'm from the East Coast, so I love that. But he also gives people their due, even if other people aren't. And I think that's a really cool thing in a human too. So I'm going to continue to probably make fun of Eric, but just remember, I'm never going to lose sight of, like, I don't think he's like a caricature. I think he does do good things. And this was also over 20 years ago. So who knows what journeys he's had that's forced him to evolve, or who knows what he was playing up for the camera. We don't know with these shows either. I haven't even touched that part yet, but This was the early days of reality TV, so I don't think people were coming in with like huge character choices. I think that comes as the challenge starts to get off the ground in the next few seasons. So let's watch for that together as we chug along, because I think that's gonna be really interesting to see how people start to seem less authentic and more built for reality TV. Because this cast, for the most part, love them, hate them, anywhere in between them, I think they're kind of showing up as more or less themselves, or at least they're showing more authenticity than not. But anyway, Eric eventually, I don't know if they have a peace offering, apology kind of conversation, or if it got glossed over or what, or just edited out, but he proposes that they go horseback riding, and so they do, and then we get a couple minutes of footage of that, because again, this is riveting reality television. We haven't learned that we can throw champagne in each other's faces yet, which is actually quite nice, but so we're just gonna watch people ride ponies.
JD. Yeehaw! Treat them gently like you treat your boyfriends. Don't boss them around like you boss those boyfriends around. Say, come on, horse, let's go.
Hold my back is like.
And then they go to a pub with maybe 3 local patrons and sing karaoke. Oh, damn, I gotta narrate again, because even though they're doing karaoke, it is a very famous Bruce Springsteen song, because nothing says let's get to know New Zealand culture like listening to Bruce Springsteen, but they geek out and have a grand old time, and it's kind of nice to watch them be happy, but I don't know if them singing it would get dinged, so we're not gonna risk it. And this is how we close the episode, guys. This is how we end it. Oh, and when I said karaoke, I just meant they were singing loudly. I didn't know that they didn't have microphones. It felt like big karaoke energy. So if you can see the actual clip, I don't know if I highly recommend it actually, but I recommend it enough. Okay, so this concludes the first episode of this silly little show that I've started that no one asked for. I'm aware that that's the case. It's going to be another episode coming with the second half of the season, and by second half, I actually mean the last 2/5. There's only 5 episodes this season. This was clearly a experiment / limited edition, limited series thing that I don't know if they thought that this would take off the way it did. I don't think they thought it would end up on CBS and be a global phenomenon. I know that, actually. Nobody knew that. But yeah, I don't even know what's happening in the next 2 episodes, besides Rachel and Sean are clearly going to fall in love, and Sean will go off and become a congressman, and Eric Nies will eventually become a guru or something. None of that happens in the next 2 episodes. That's just more the epilogue, to be fair, because I'm watching it right along with you. I only watched the 3 episodes in preparation for this. So let's talk, because we're at halftime. We're at intermission, right? We'll stick with halftime. It's a sport, after all, the 5th sport, as I keep beating that horse dead. And to be clear, I just think it's really funny that it ended up being the 5th sport. I know they did not intend for it to be the 5th sport, but anywho. This is fun, but this isn't like, it's okay, I'm trying to think in a 1998 audience, and it just feels very, not like, I guess nostalgic, I don't know. Like back in the day with the few reality shows that we had, which was basically Real World and or Road Rules, once their season, whatever season it was off the air, there really wasn't a lot of follow-up. There was maybe a reunion or 2 here and there, but like, this was novel. This was groundbreaking to bring back these real life quote unquote characters and then mix them up. Like when Urkel would randomly show up on an episode of Full House, like this is what this was. And that was a big deal. And it was very exciting. I was like a kid, but I thought it was exciting because I'd watched The Real World behind my parents' back. And so this was great fun when this came out. I remember thinking this was awesome. And I guess I still do, because I also love what it's become, but it's not a super great catch-up special. It's like, I don't really know what Cynthia's up to. She's a travel agent. I know nothing else. Is she in a relationship? I guess not, because she's maybe flirting with Eric. But like, we don't know where she's really at. We know John didn't get a record recording deal, and that really kind of sucks, especially since Eric did. We know a lot about Eric, but we don't even know that much about Sean. He's not even talking about trying to be in politics. He's not angling for that. Like, it's just kind of a bunch of people hanging out that are sort of related because they're from the same show, but just different seasons, different eras. And it's like fun, but they're finding the thing. I'm an artist, I'm a comedian, I'm a writer. I get it. Sometimes you don't know what the thing is until you do it. And they're doing it and they're figuring it out. And by they, I mean production and Buna Mori. Like, the cast is just along for the ride. None of this is their fault. But it's a little clunky. It's a little crude. It's a little, like, not like crude as in, like, besides the Peep Show. But I mean, like, crude just as in, like, you know, not super polished. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like my sweet spot is going to be a few seasons from now. I think the next one will be super fun because I think that's when Beth and Montana meet and don't like each other, which makes me more excited than I should admit to. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I cannot wait to get out all the popcorn for those scenes. But I think this first season is fun, but the most interesting thing to come out of it's probably Rachel and Sean. But I guess we'll see when we watch the next 2 episodes. I give it like a B- so far. It's fun. It's not offensive. Just they're just doing things though. So yeah, not mad at it, not in love with it, but I can see why this would be so enchanting and charming to a 1998 audience. I'm looking forward to seeing where the rest of the season goes because I guess they just have to do another mission or 2 and then they get their handsome reward. I think that's how Road Rules worked. That sounds right. I'm a little more curious for season 2 because I think that's when they start to figure out what the thing is. But we'll see how this wraps up, and we'll see if any plot twist or iconic water cooler, you know, reality TV gold moments happen the rest of the season. But I don't think that's what we're in for. I don't think that's the assignment. I think that comes maybe with Beth and Montana next season, but I think in a few seasons from now is when we really start cooking with gas. So it's still gonna be fun exploring these early seasons because it just so much has changed, so much is different, and it's fun to be like, wow, from a historical perspective, this is where this all started and this is what they thought would work versus what did work. We're in for an experience, so buckle up. I'm intending for this to be a weekly show, so or at least for as long as it's fun, and I had fun doing this. I'm trying to follow the fun in life, so even though I don't really want to be a personality anymore, I do write about culture sometimes, but I don't think this is not aligned with some of the other stuff I do in a weird, not super obvious way, because I do like to talk about human dynamics and psychology and pop culture and society and all that stuff, and reality TV really does have a part of that, so it feels easier to do this than write about it, because, you know, the clips make it so much more fun. I think not everyone remembers stuff like the back of their hand about these old seasons. I don't remember hardly any of this. I remembered Rachel and Sean cuddling in the grass at one point. That's it. That's literally it. So please subscribe because I'm going to be back here doing this again. We're going to close out the season next week. We'll see